that contains embedded technology to communicate and sense or interact with the internal states or the external environment. And this is the definition given by Gartner. So the Gartner report is familiar with, most familiar for IoT reports. So this is the general definition from the Gartner report. The thing, ability to transfer data over a network without requiring human to human or human to computer interaction. So here, the simple definition for the IoT is you need to connect the things. The thing may be a physical object or a human, anything. Anything, that object must be connected over the network. And those objects should be communicated with each other with a computer technology. So that is embedded technology. Embedded means it should have some combination of hardware and software. The embedded means it is a combination of both hardware and software. So you're having some physical hardware, let's say computing devices. That devices are embedded with some software, the program, say instructions, your code. And a specific means the working should be a specific to the task, not for general purpose. So all the things, whatever the things you are using, that things are connecting over a network and that should communicate with each other. So that we can call it as a Internet of Things. So maybe it's a car or laptop or a watch or plane or smart card, whatever it is, home appliances also, anybody. So anything that can be connected to the net and communicate with each other. So that we can call it as a Internet of Things. So now, what is the genesis of IoT, Internet of Things? Means how it is started. So for the genesis, Kevin Austin is the creator of the term Internet of Things. Means he explains how IoT involves the addition of new sensors and to the computers, how the sensors are connected with the computers, how they are interchanging the data. Means the sensed data must be interchanged with the computer. So from that, coming latest, the 21st century paradigm of the IoT is, it says that computers are sensing things for themselves. Means that IoT things means doesn't require any human interaction or human to human or human with computer. So without any human intervention, those things are automatically share the data between themselves. So where it is started, what is the digitalization? Means how the digitalization is moving towards the IoT. How the revolution is started and how it will move to the latest technology of IoT. So in the first, the digitalization, just making the things getting ready. So in that digitalization process, the first step is the connectivity. First step, the connectivity. So in the connectivity, it's the first initial stage of the connectivity is a digitized access. So there, person to person or device to device or whatever it is. So just if you want to communicate anything, so that can be done with, the communication is done with the mails, web browsers, search engines. So that is the initial, the first stage of communication before going to the IoT. The next stage that can be improved with network economy, means digitizing the business. So in that digitalization of the business, e-commerce, digital supply chains, collaborations, so these fields will start. So already that one is over. So after the digitalization of the business, then enters to digitalization of the interactions, means immersive experience, personal. So there social media comes into the picture, the mobility, cloud or video. So so in the initial stage of the mail, just only you can communicate with only the text messages. You can search for something. Browsers are only for text. So then after, just go for a business, digitizing the business, e-commerce portals. So then after it is coming with social media. There you can upload your data, instead of text message, you can go with in addition to that audio and video supports. So there, the cloud storage, because the data maybe means you are storing large amount of data into the device, that maybe there may be chance of damaging because the temperature and all those things are not sufficient to maintain the data. So to overcome that, we'll go with the next thing, a cloud. So the final stage, the current technology is the Internet of Things, means digitalization of the world. So up to that, just access, business, interactions, and then the entire world is going to digitalize. So there we are connecting the people's process, data, things, whatever it is. So in that, maybe connecting with the people or things, even the things to things or things to device or data or things to process or process to process or people to people, anything. So just all those communication, the digitalization communication is over the internet. So how is revoluting from the basic digital access to the digitalization of the world? So how the IoT is impacting the society? One of the prediction from Cisco Systems, by the year 2020, the number of things connected to the internet will reach around 50 billions. So by the end of 2020, they estimate that the number of things connected to the internet means you want to make some IoT communication. IoT means the thing must be connected to the internet. Then only you can communicate over the network. So the thing to thing is possible, it's over the network only. So those things must be, to make the communication possible between those things, the things must be connected to the network. So like that, if you go for such scenario, 50 billion devices are going to be connected by this year 2020. Already we reached. So in this way, so the Cisco prediction in the year 2003, so there are only just now they started around 0, and the population is, world population is just 6.3 billions. So next year keep on going. 2008, it reaches to the number of the population and the number of things connected over the network becomes equal. That means per every person, one device is there at an average. So in 2010, that reaches to means around 6.8. That means the devices connected are double. So one person means for one population means one person means obviously two things are connected to the network. So in 2015, it reaches to one person equal to 4 devices. Means those many number of things are connected over the network. And currently, the world population is around 7.83 billions, but the things are going to connect is 50 billions. Means for one person, 7 devices, at an average of 7 things are connected with the network. So in this scenario, you are connecting more number of devices with the IoT internet. So if this scenario is continuously increases, so how those devices to be handled? So means how the IoT is impacting the current technology, means current things. So like this, what is the growth rate of the things are connecting to the network? So in the future means by this, if this process is continuous, the more number of things, everything is going to connect over the network. So in the coming soon, the person with majority means multiple sensors, that is body sensor networks. So person provided with multiple sensors inside the body, it's maybe surrounded by the body. So that is, you are going to connect with the world, how the things are going to connect with the world. So now, similarly, the same scenario, how that IoT is impacting in the transportation area. The IoT in transportation market is the second biggest section, putting resources into the industrial IoT. So the IoT in transportation is the second biggest section by putting all the resources into the industrial IoT, IoT you can call it. And the IoT in smart transportation, making things simpler. So it's rapidly changed with the tracking industry with the help of means almost the devices provided with mobile connectivity and apps. So where your device is there, where your transport, means logistic traveling, carrying, where the location of the device, how much time it will take to reach. So the transportation market is expected to reach $143.93 billion by the 2020. Almost we are coming soon reaching. And the CAGR is of cumulative average growth rate, annual growth rate, cumulative annual growth rate, and which is of 8.95%, which from 2014 to 2020 only. So if you take the average from 2014 to 2020, around 6 years, with this 8.95 cumulative average for every year, the growth rate is rapidly growing. So how it is means impacting the transportation field, the technology, IoT technology, how it is impacting the transportation field, and investments, how the investments can be made into the transportation field. So here, how the transportation changes with the hardware, software, and services. Means IoT is impacting on transportation in terms of hardware, software, and services. Every year it is drastically changing. So what are the applications? Means in what exactly you are using IoT in the field of transportation? What exactly the IoT is used in the area of transportation? So the major solution with IoT for transportation is the real-time tracking. So at any given point of time, you can track your device. Means the IoT means if the device is connected with the GPS tracking, so just your device means you need to open your device application, whatever the application provided with the device, that must be connected. Once it is connected with your, means the application is connected with your device, so just wherever you want, you can just open. So from that, you can monitor the status of your device, where the current status, where it is located, whether it is running or not. So keep on track at what time it is there. So what is the current location, means you can identify with the GPS latitude, longitude also. So with this, the major benefit with this tracking is you can identify where it is available. So how much time it will take to reach you, or you need to go somewhere else. Sorry. So one more is, if any thefts happen, so with that you can trace your device where it is located, means that vehicle is located. So to prevent such type of incidents also, the tracking will help you. So with that means the field of IoT, how is protecting your vehicles, how you are communicating with your vehicle. So this is the best solution with in the area of transportation with IoT. And geofencing, this is also currently one more feature is available with transportation. And with this, you need to make some location and path for your vehicle. You can control your vehicle of your driver. So for example, you are the owner of your vehicle. Means that vehicle is provided to the driver for transportation purpose or traveling or whatever it is. So maybe for tours and travels or anything, just your vehicle is provided with one driver. You are sitting at home. So geofencing means for today's location, means your vehicle need to be traveled to certain distance. Means I am going to call a university, SR University. So my vehicle should travel across the Warangal. So just from that current location path, you need to make a path, means the distance, how much distance you need to allow to your vehicle to travel. So that set point means for today travel, based on the agreement, the today travel is around just only 10 kilometers or maybe 20 kilometers. So now your vehicle is provided with just fencing, a geological fencing with whatever the distance you provided, around 10 kilometers. So it means your driver must be traveled inside the 10-kilometer range only. If able to cross that fencing, immediately you will get an alert message. So maybe those who are making business with multiple vehicles in the making it for tours and travels and anything. So just you can control whether how the driver is traveling, for what distance he is traveling. So like that, you can specifically make a fencing. So beyond that limit, if the vehicle crosses, just by placing that fencing can be placed inside your app. Means just it's a map will be open, so the current location will point, and from that you can drag your location. So how much distance you are going to allow to travel. Once you set that distance, with that the circle will be formed. So your vehicle must be inside that. You can keep on track continuously where it is. So unable to tracking also, sometimes maybe if it is cross that location, means that fencing location, if cross that, obviously your vehicle, the mobile number which is attached to your that GPS or application also. So in both the way you will get some messages. So with that we can identify what happens with your device. So the next thing is you can monitor the fuel. So with this, keep on monitoring the fuel status. So internally in the previous it is CAN protocol used. So even still now also CAN protocol is used for making the dashboard coordination. So speedometer, fuel meter, and accelerator, all those things. So those are monitored and communicated with the protocol. It's a CAN protocol, controller area network, which is developed by Robert Bosch. And with this, just only the information is displayed on the screen only. But with this IoT, so even though your vehicle is not available with you, so the information, whatever it is there, means the fuel monitoring system, internally everything is connected to the computer of the car. So now with that, the computer of the car will pass the information, means because that is connected to the network, IoT. So that information, you can get the information from your app or mobile message, or just inside the car there is some display will be there. So with that, just alert a message. So at what point you need to make an alert? Because so if maximum, the minimum level 20%, whenever you reach to 20%, you need to get alert message. If you want to reach to 30%, you need to get, means at what level of fuel you need to get the message. So that can be made adjustment in the application itself. So based on the inputs you provided within your application. So whenever that reaches, means that car computer system keep on reading the values from the sensors. So whenever it reaches to certain levels, whatever the input you provided, so at that level, it directly displays the message in the display of the car. Parallelly, the same thing can be passed as information to the device which is connected, means mobile with the message, or one more is the application is installed inside the mobile. So in that way, you can experience how the IoT is providing these features. Means you can take a precautions. So once directly fuel is over, you get the inform, means nothing to do. So instead of wasting, means as per that you need to plan your journeys. So in that way, it is providing the technology. And fleet management. This includes almost all the things. So vehicle maintenance. So in the previous, for example, your vehicle is traveled around 500,000 kilometers. You need to go for the first servicing. Maybe in the next case, after 1,000 kilometers, so 10,000 kilometers, or 20,000 kilometers, go for the next. So there should be some manual operations. But maybe you forgot to go for the maintenance. And the previous one, car dashboards provided with some symbols, alert symbols, means there may be some drawback with your device, the vehicle. Maybe screws are missing, there's something is broken, seat belt is not weird. So like that, maybe technical issues. If any device is failure, I mean the failure of anything inside the car. So that is displayed on the screen. And you need to take care of that before going to start. Just you need to stop there, and if any technical issue, you need to solve it. But with IoT, once you purchase your vehicle with the technology IoT is provided, So whenever you reach the specific distance, obviously it will share the message directly with the service providers. So it already is going to cross this distance, need the service for this. You will get some message immediately. Even any technical issues, some screws are missing. So in that case, you need to go to the servicing center. So meanwhile, before you going to there, once you are navigating to your vehicle to the servicing center, so the same message is already passed with the servicing centers. So before going to you there, so everything is get ready there. You can directly go there and just within a fraction of small amount of time, you can make an alter adjustment and get back. So means you can need to save the time, no need to waste the time at servicing centers. So inside that, so where your geological location, so what is the nearby service, means where you are going to which servicing center you are going. So which servicing center you are going. So in that way, the car computer is providing the message. Just pass the information to the corresponding servicing center, means this device already is getting failure with something, maybe screws or nuts or bolts or whatever it is, fuel tanks or fuel pipe or anything, AC filter, regular filter, whatever it is. So like this, what failures it is detected, means diagnosing the car. So entire health monitoring system of the vehicle. Security precautions, is airbags are working fine or not, is there any technical issue with that. So all these things means diagnosing the device with the prior intimation before going to damage, means entire damage, the tires are there. So some few of the sensors are placed, means TPMS, tire pressure monitoring system. So those TPMS sensors are placed inside the wheel and your tire. So it's keep on monitoring the tire pressure value. So that tire pressure measurement sensor, means the TPMS sensors will keep on monitoring the pressure inside the tires. Means that must be provided to one device for every tire. So the system is adjusted, in the computer programming is adjusted such that whenever the tire pressure reaches to, means less than 25% of the initial weight, means that initial weight means it's defined by the manufacturers. So you are providing the tire pressure must be equal to certain amount. So of that, if 25% is reduced from that, obviously it will just get the message on the screen immediately inside the vehicle. Parallelly, the same thing can be passed through the mobile application as well as with a message. So with that, before going to damage, means before going to lose the entire air pressure in the tire, so you need to navigate towards the air pressures. So in this way, how your devices are going to protect and plan, means make it economic without wasting your time. So diagnosing before getting the problem, securing your lives. So next, IoT in transportation, how it will change the autonomous revolution, how the IoT field is changing an autonomous revolution. And that is autonomous revolution with the trains. So with this emerging technology, the self-driving trains have already started, but only 6% of the world trains operates at the highest level of automation, means without driver, means fully automation, no need of driver for that. So these vehicles driverless, means the fullest high level automation means without any driver. And with this, London's Crossrail subway expansion says that it will come up with a new tube by 2022 with 250 fully automated trains. So by the year 2052, and this will the London's Crossrail subway expansion. So it's currently under process, and it is going to produce 250 trains. All are fully automatic, no means driverless, self-driving vehicles. So in the area of rails. And Glasgow subway aims to upgrade to a driverless trains, which is in Scotland. It's coming soon. It is going to come into the picture, real-time operation. So that means how that IoT is impacting in the autonomous vehicles in area of trains. Trucks. So autonomous trucks made by the Volvo company, and it is getting soon, means coming soon it will be delivering. And once if this done means obviously the productivity will be 30%, and means the improvement in the productivity will be 30%, and remove the human operator from potentially hazardous environments. Means if environment is not suitable for carry, so from that situation you need to at least save the drivers. So that is a major benefit with autonomous trucks, but it is under process. Volvo has started all these things, and maybe it's coming soon. It is going to deliver. And in the ships, in the field of ships, and Port of Rotterdam, which is in Netherlands, aims to be prepared for autonomous ships by the 2030. So the objective of this Netherlands Rotterdam port is to prepare autonomous ships by the year 2030. And but it is not exactly finished all the steps, and autonomous shipping are finally taking, means currently just only baby steps towards the reality, but not exactly practical cases are done. Just only a few things are getting ready. So small level applications are testing with this. And in this scenario, the remote operator monitors on the ships via satellites. Means so the satellite monitoring systems are deployed in the ships, and that can be monitored with autonomous drones to perform monitoring and analysis of those. So means from the outstation, from the outside, the drones will be monitoring all the status of those ships, and those ships are equipped with the satellite communication. So with the satellite communication, that can be communicated with the drones, flying drones, autonomous drones. So by communicating with the drones and ships, the ships can travel. So this is the way of how the ships are making autonomous communication. Means without driver, how they are going to communicate. So if these things comes into the real picture, so majority of time will be saved, and so you may reduce the risk of the humans. Because why? It's continuously around 1 to 2 months they are traveling in the sea. So in that area, maybe any issue, cyclones or anything, there is a chance of danger for them. So to overcome such scenarios, the autonomous ships will protect the human lives. Just initially is initial stage, but once it is coming into the real reality, so that will make a better growth with the technology, how it is implementing in the autonomous revolution. And autonomous revolution in the planes, flights. So Norway is now just mandating that all domestic flights must be electric by the year 2040. So in the year 2040, they are going to make all those devices, the flights must be supplied with electric supply instead of the fuel consumption. So idea of automation, the major purpose of the automation of your flights, this is to relieve the pilots from the routine flying. Means just they are keep on monitoring the flying only. So that can be relieved by them, and the pilots are given with some other major duties to monitor the major duties other than the flying. Because once it is made autonomous, no need of the flying concentration. So that task can be reduced. That can be reduced from the pilots, and they will be provided with some other major tasks based on the priority of importance. And in this scenario, Boeing and Airbus are continuously exhibiting in the IoT. So these two exhibits IoT, right? Foreign Borrow Aid Show in England. So this is running every year. So in that, the latest by this year 2020, they are exhibiting the IoT in the planes. So that technology is also coming into the planes. But the fully autonomous flights will take care. I mean, take some time to come into the reality. It will take some more time. But currently, already few of the technologies they are incorporated into the planes. Not exactly finishing the process. It will take some more years to come. But once it comes, the pilots may operate with some more important duties inside the flights. Not only concentrating on the flying. So in other some more activities can be given to them. So how the IoT is revoluting into the autonomous vehicles. And finally, the autonomous cars. So it's already started it's already developed by BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Google, and many more. The majority already started with their autonomous cars, and it is leading to invest 20 million pounds in this technology. So autonomous, that means that this technology is going to autonomous cars, means driverless cars. So it's going to invest around 20 million pounds. And how the autonomous vehicles are remain? These vehicles rely highly on the sensors to interact more with the world. So this figure is related to Google cars, Waymo, Google cars. So it's a driverless. No driver is required inside this to travel. So in this, just only the sensors. The entire information means the car is connected with all the sensors, and those sensors must be interact with each other, with the external world. So how the driverless car or self-driving cars are working? What type of sensors are provided inside that? How it is working? So for that, just looking into this figure, connected cars and the IoT. So in this one, just if you look this car, they are provided with video cameras, a GPS navigation, where it is there, what is the current location, latitude, longitude, in which direction you are moving. So once you set with in starting location and end point, destination. So with that GPS, traveling means navigating. Radars, LIDAR. So LIDAR means light, imaging, detection, and ranging. The top they are provided with the LIDAR. So here the LIDAR means light, imaging, detection, and ranging. So these sensors are used to measure the distance of the objects by illuminating with laser lights. And simply these devices are called as 3D scanners with laser light. The spontaneous time means the reaction time is more. So that for that purpose, the LIDAR is provided in the top of the vehicle here at this point. Here, the radar is provided in front of the car. Here, the radar, the radar is also working similar to the LIDAR one, but it can scan. Here, the radar is also used to measure the distance of the object, means for a long range objects. At the same time, it can measure the distance between the other object, maybe it's having some relative speed also. If it is, while those devices are also in traveling condition, so in that case also, it can able to detect the distance between those two. That is the reason the radar is used. So in the back side, they are connected with ultrasonic sensors. So currently every car, majority of the recent cars are provided with the back sensors. Whenever you are making a reverse direction, moving your car, vehicle or car into the reverse direction, if any obstacle nearby, backside, you will get some alert message. Those are ultrasonic sensors. But these ultrasonic sensors will be used with the object must be a steady state. Means if it is traveling, may not be that much of reaction time. Means the reaction time will be more for that. But in the front direction, the speed is more for the vehicle. So even the opposite direction also, the vehicle is coming with the same majority of the speed, means most of the speed. So in that case, the ultrasonic sensors will not show. So how these lidars or radars or ultrasonic sensors will work? So maybe a majority IR rays lidar with a laser light. That sensors is provided with transmitter section as well as receiver section inside that both. So those two sections, the transmitter is always transmitting. The IR means sound waves will transmit, means IR rays will transmit. So whenever the rays are transmitted, meanwhile, if any obstacle is there, so again the rays will be getting reflected back. That reflected back rays will be received by the receiver of the sensor. So with that information, at what time the rays are started, at what time the rays are received, whether it is a laser light or sound waves. So based on that, how much time it will take traveling direction and getting a reflected direction. So that information is given to the computer inside the car. There should be one central point, that is computer. So that computer will take care of all those things. Just getting the inputs from the sensors and process it and then make the decision. If obstacle is nearby, you need to apply the brakes. The device means the computer is going to apply the brakes. At what distance the object is, how much time it will take to reach that point, whether the opposite direction object is having a relative speed or not. That is the reason the radar sensors. Lidar for long range. How objects are traveling, how much distance is there between the device and the object. So video cameras processing. Many persons, pedestrians are traveling across the road, means opposite to the road. Pedestrians or cyclists or whatever. So those persons are traveling or not. So how to protect those people with this? So all those things are working together to make the system function. So everything means the device, GPS navigation, lidars or video cameras or radars, the position sensors. Means here one more feature is whether in the current technology, when your vehicle is not traveling properly, means it is riding to right or left side. So there may be some problem with alignment, wheel balancing. So for that you need to go to the servicing center and then just make a wheel alignment. So in the previous it is manual mechanism, the current version is just automation. So once you go to the servicing station, just put your vehicle there, that system will monitor where the balancing occurs, where the problem occurs, where the position is occurs. So it can identify such type of things. Just means diagnose the problem very easy compared to the manual mechanism. Very much the time saving, much of the time will be saved and providing the better solution. So in this way, how the cars are working in the autonomous. Now, how the IoT transportation will providing some the advantages. What are the major benefits with this? So it provides traveler experience, means the improved version of the traveler experience. So in what way? Means just it informing the clients by delays, changes, cancellation. So if the train is coming by 1 hour late, once you go to the station, if you get to know that information, you need to stay in the station itself for 1 hour. So that is getting frustrating for the passengers, for the clients, not only train, any vehicle. So you are booking some car, Ola, Uber, whatever. So it is, you are waiting for a device at particular location. If it comes half an hour late or 1 hour late, means, so in that way, it is getting frustrating for the customers. So this technology will provide the best feature, means it can identify where the location is. where the location of your device. How much time it will take means by looking into the geographical location. How much time it will take to reach you. So in that way, just the travel means experience, it will improve. And sometimes you may change, cancel the trains or tickets or flight, whatever it is. The vehicle also sometimes you may make a cancel. So that information can be shared directly. So without wasting your time. So and one more, improves the connectivity of owners and managers with operators and drivers. So if you're owner of car company, or some owner who is working for the travel industry, so provided multiple vehicles, so you can directly communicate with all the vehicles. Every device is operated with IoT. So currently, what is the location? Means sometimes the driver may informs some wrong information. Maybe he's out of station, but he informs that just only for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, coming just nearby like that. So it may waste the time of the owners. It doesn't reveal the actual information. So in that case, the owners directly can connect to the device where the exact location of the device, whether it is in traveling or not. Any failures, obviously, the IoT will report to the owners and servicing centers. Any failure of the device. And provides security to the passengers and employees along with the vehicles, equipment, and data. So late nights you are traveling with one device, maybe ladies, gents, even the children, or anybody is traveling. So obviously that vehicle is connected with the GPS, means there is a security for the passengers. Where the vehicle is traveling, in what direction it is traveling. So currently in the previous scenario in Telangana state, there are issues. Some issues are those issues are happening during nighttime traveling. So if the persons are able to travel in the cabs which are connected with the GPS, so in what direction the vehicle is moving. So the person is connected with some family members. So in what way it is moving towards what direction, whether it is right or wrong. So I mean real time, keep on continuously tracked. So if anything, something is went wrong, means we can directly inform to the corresponding nearby cops or. So in that way, you can get the benefit of the security to the passengers. And illegal practices by the drivers or operators can easily be prevented. The major drawbacks with the drivers, they will fill some 1,000 rupees of water and they claim it around 1,200 or 1,500 of the water, fuel for 1,000 rupees. And they claim that it is around 1,500 to 1,200 to 1,500. What amount of fuel is provided? What is the current status? Once you fill that fuel into the device, what amount of fuel you fill? What percentage it has to raise? So the entire information is provided within inside the app. So in this way, the drivers cannot be going to make illegal practices. Even they can travel for extra distances. So the track, currently it is implementing in almost majority of the cars. So in Suzuki devices, it is a Suzuki Connect device will be there, and followed by the application is there. So that is providing what distance the vehicle is traveled, in what way it is traveled, how much fuel is consumed for that distance. So such information is shared with the customer, the owner of the device. So in that way, whatever the chances of making illegal practices by the drivers get prevented. And with this, all the devices, the transportation, the devices are connected to the internet, means, so the device is in currently which location, in that which direction they are traveling. Sorry. What direction it is traveling, what is the traffic density in that area, so how much time it will consume to travel. So that such type of informations can be shared. And smart parking systems. You are going to somewhere else, means you are going to shopping, just some complex, whether that nearby parkings are available or not. So once you go there, you are going for some movies. just malls or movies or anywhere. So once you go there, just if there is no proper parking means that is a waste of time. So before going to there, whether the slots are available or not, what is the traffic density during that path? How much time it will take to reach there? So in what way you need to travel? That is a micro navigation in public transportation. So which route is available means the best route to travel in terms of distance, in terms of smooth driving. And this may also provide some promoting the tourism development also. It can attract means better ways, better traveling experience, and that can promote the tourism development. So obviously that will provides the economy of the nation or states or anything. What are the key players which are growing with IoT in transportation market? So those are Cisco Systems, IBM, Intel, Amazon Web Services, like that. Majority, all those are the limited. They are growing with their market with the IoT transportation. Microsoft, Huawei, all those things, Google. But in that way, IoT is making the better things to get ready with the transportation. So it is making everything simplifies the transportation. But if you are providing all those things with the IoT, is there any problems with the IoT? So if there, what are the problems? Means what challenges while you are implementing. So majority of the benefits are there with your IoT field in the transportation. With that, if you provide all those things, then what challenges you need to take care of that? So those challenges must be overcome to make the transportation is efficient with the IoT technology. So in this, one is the scale. Enormous scale of IoT, continuous rapid growth. So already we discussed with Cisco Systems predicts by the year 2020, the number of things connected to the internet will reach around 50 billions. So this is a large number. So that many devices are connected to the internet means how to handle those devices, because every device must be provided with a unique address. So to interact with one device with other, the one device must be interacting with others means every device having a specific unique IDs. Then only it can able to differentiate device to device. So in that scenario, the current technology provided with IPv4 address, but that is already you reach the maximum exhaustion. It is not possible. The IPv4 is not feasible to provide the addresses for these many devices. 50 billion things are you connect to the network. If you are connecting some things to the network means everything must be a specific having specific unique IDs. But providing those many unique IDs with IPv4 is that address is not sufficient to provide. So to overcome such scenarios, such problems, the coming latest technologies with IPv6 addressing. So means the things must be upgraded to the IPv6 address. Then only it is possible with the large scale of numbers. And the one more thing is security. So before this, privacy. The sensor becomes more prolific in our daily lives, and much of the data is going to specific to the individual or a group of their activities. So for example, you are having a sensor, means your vehicle is connected with the internet. So your sensors are doing what? All those sensors continuously reading much amount of data. Continuously keep on reading. So that data must be shared with the computer, and the computer is already connected over the network. So that computer is over the network. With that network, it is going to share some information to the owner of the device. Is it going to be a privacy for that person only. Similarly, in some home applications, your home is provided with everything is with IoT technology, smart home automations. Your things are getting connected to the network. So you can monitor from here onwards. My light is on, but nobody is there inside the room. Just now I can switch off the light from here onwards. But the same thing, if any persons attacks to access your IP address, some ransomware or malpractice, whatever it is. So in such scenario, means you are providing your entire information, your specific information, uploading to the network. That is making public. I think everybody is having some laptops, mobile phones or laptops. Just you are searching something in the internet. So in the Google or YouTube. So today you search something related to what is IoT. So in the next time, once you open that web search engine, default it will provided with some links provided related to the IoT. You open the YouTube. So today you search for what is the YouTube, what is IoT, what is the field of, the role of IoT in the area of transportation. So if you search like that, in the next day, obviously, or next attempt we are trying to access that YouTube, you will get already the predefined, means already some content related to what you searched in the previous. So means your privacy is provided to the network. Your privacy items you are making public to the open to the public. So with this, so if everything is connected to the network, that is again drawback to the persons whoever is connecting your devices. So means your personal information is going to be shared over the network. That there is a chance for accessing by someone else. So in that case, you need to provide the security for that. If some other is your personal information, for example, your person is connected with the body sensor network. So your entire information is shared over the network. That can be communicated to the doctors. So your family doctors keep on checking. So if anything is wrong in that, obviously is directly communicated with you for making the treatment. Even your vehicle is also connected over the network. It is the information whatever the car computer is having. So that is shared over the network. If that is accessed by someone else other than you, so there is a chance of making malpractice, means misleading the vehicle. So like for the car controller unit, you can call it as a microcontroller unit is just a engine part, ECU, electronic control unit. So recently one of the films also is implemented. Even though you are traveling in that car, you may not apply to the brakes because the brakes are not going to work. When to apply the brakes, when to release the brakes, whether they are going to work or not, so that everything can be controlled from outside. So in that scenario, so whether means you are uploading something information with all the sensor information to the cloud means network means, so that must be provided with the security. Otherwise, it is a danger to connecting the things to the network. So you need to take care of that. And big data and data analytics. So IoT, your things are connected with the majority of the computer is connected with the sensors, and all those sensors keep on monitoring the status of those. If a car is driverless car is connected with various 5 to 6 sensors, radar, lidar, ultrasonic, GPS, pressure monitoring. So like that, all these sensors are available with that car microcontroller. What is the duty of those sensors? So those sensors are keep on monitoring their status. Keep on monitoring their status. A sensor is going to work for get the new data in the time of fraction of seconds, maybe millis or microseconds. So if one sensor is reading the data for 1 second, one sensor is going to read the data for around maybe 1,000 times, and maybe 10 to 100 times. So if this scenario happens, your car is provided with some tens of sensors. Each sensor for 1 second, at least 5 to 10 times. So 10 means around 100 times data you are getting, 100 data you are getting. So for 1 second, this is the scenario. For 1 minute, for 1 hour. So how this data is going to handle? Where you are going to store your data? Whatever the data is going to be given to the processor. So processor need to store somewhere else. So where to store? So if you store such type of data, how to handle that one? So the major things means the major storage for the IoT is the cloud, because your servers, whatever the data you are getting, that not possible to store directly with the servers because the operating conditions, temperature. So there may be chance of damaging that server with the large temperatures. So the better solution, economical solution to store such large amount of information, that to be done with cloud. But always getting the data from the sensor, going back to the cloud, and again getting back the data from the cloud and make the decision. Means, so in the cloud you are processing your data and make the decisions. So your device is somewhere inside the car and the cloud is somewhere else. So every time reading the data, sending the data to the cloud, just make some processing there. Take some actions. So whatever the necessary actions that should be taken care, and that will be get back to the computer, and the computer will apply that actions, whatever given by the cloud. So this may be a time-consuming process. At the same time, so you are wasting the cloud data. You're wasting the cloud data. So to save such scenarios, the IoT is provided with the big data and data analytics. So you need to take care of where the data analytics must be taken care, how to handle the data, large amount of data. So for that, the edge computing and fog computing will taken care into the picture. So instead of directly communicating every time with the cloud computing, so before that there should be some fog and there should be edge. The edge means wherever the endpoint your devices are there, at that time you need to make some processing. Whatever the things are done with at that stage, you need to handle those things there only. No need to everything upload to the cloud, because you don't want to waste the cloud information, cloud memory. So in that way, edge computing can be taken across the end device. Whatever it is done means possible at what maximum, what extent it can be possible to finish those transactions. So that can be done across the edge. So that we can call it as edge computing. The computing means the processing. The processing can be taken care across the device. That part we can call it as edge computing. In between edge and cloud, there should be some medium point will be there. Those are gateways. So at that point, some more processing can be taken care. Means if it is not possible to make the process at edge, that can be forwarded to the fog. So there you need to process something else, and still some more is not processed across the fog, and that should be taken care to the cloud. So if you implement these scenarios, the final things can be done in the cloud only. But the data almost, instead of sending majority of the data, only whatever the data is required to analyze, that can be transferred to the cloud. So that will be taken care by the cloud, means we are saving the memory of the cloud and saving the process of the cloud processing. So if they able to implement, then it is well and good to implement the systems. And interoperability. So this is the major problem with the things you are connecting with the IoT. So IoT is having a specific, means the Internet of Things is having the things you are connecting to the network are having a specific protocols to operate. The devices, one of the devices having one specific standard protocol to operate. One more device having one more protocol. Means heterogeneous, not that similar protocols. All the things you are connecting to the network are having not similar protocols. So if those things, different things are connected with different protocols, operating protocols, means the procedure guidelines, how the things are operating. So those heterogeneous devices you are connecting to the network, how to communicate between those two? Because the operation of the first thing is different, the second thing is different, but you need to make the synchronization between those two. So for that, you need to make the IoT protocol, a standard protocol for that. Just that permits interoperable, means one is operating it one protocol, the other is device operating it other protocol. Even though regardless of their protocol, that must be translated to the common protocol that is supported by the IoT. So in that way, means first one is must be translated to the IoT protocol, and the second one is also must be translated to the IoT protocol. So in between that, those two devices, this standard protocol must be communicated, so that we can interoperable. So there are different various heterogeneous things are communicating over the network. So if this can be done with your device, that means your devices, regardless of their operating protocols, whether that must be compatible with your IoT protocol or not, then it's well and good to use. So these are the various challenges. If you can able to overcome these challenges in the IoT, it's well and it's good to operate these things in the industry of transportation. Yeah, that's it. Any issues, any doubts, you can.
Sir, thank you, sir. Hello.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, do you hear me?
Yes, sure, sir.
Sir, sir, any other applications regarding?
Regarding the applications, recently we are facing, live application. Just I will demonstrate. Yeah, just I will present the application. The current problem is we are in the Warangal city. The major issue with coming with the municipalities. So in the municipality areas, the problem happened is for garbage collection. For garbage collection, some trolleys are provided with the persons. So they are traveling across the streets and collecting the garbage and just dumping into the dumping yards. So in this scenario, sometimes maybe it's a mistake of the laborers. They are not traveling into all the paths provided to them. Sometimes they are not traveling. So because of that, there may be the garbage collection is increasing across the homes. So the people are directly complaining to the municipal offices whether the collections are not made. Similarly, one more issue is the garbage collections. People are traveling across the same areas, whatever provided for them, but the people are unable to catch that device at that time. Means during that time maybe they are busy, they are unable to dump that. So even though their problem or the labor problem, but obviously they are complaining. The people are complaining that the vehicles are not coming to the customer area, but the laborers are claiming that we are already traveled in that path. No persons are coming getting down. So what we do? So to overcome such scenarios, with the students of third year and final year, we are implementing one device. It is under process. We are making a GPS enabled device, and that GPS enabled device that must be fixed to every device. One is the garbage collection device. Once it is connected with the device, and the traveling path of the device means that vehicle wherever it is travels. So the traveling path is everything is uploaded to the cloud. So from that cloud, the persons with the higher authorities directly they can monitor whether, for example, in this street number 1, the person 1, whether he traveled the proper distance or not, how much distance he traveled, from where to where he traveled, the travel path that is directly combining with the Google Maps. So such scenarios can be implementing, and that will help how the transportation is efficient with the IoT. Is it okay, sir?
Hello, sir. Now it's yes, sir.
Yeah, it's okay. Now it's okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And we are very most of the people are here from civil engineering base, and we are now only entering into that IoT and the new terms we are hearing about, the new terminology we are slowly learning, and that's why we are unable to ask more and more questions. But anyhow, I am seeing that there is a questions asked from that two people, and that we will share that. And from Baswaraj Aki from Karnataka is asking that, stating that the session was really enlightening about the progress of IoT, and is raising one question that the technology with the driverless train or ships or car. What about employability, as we are facing the problem of unemployment now?
Yeah, that we are going to face. Already we are currently facing the same issues, but in that way means the devices you are technology is improving means, so you need to work with the technology. So in that way you need to operate.
Yes, sir. Anyhow, sir. Yes, that,
Monitoring will be required.
yes, that's true, sir. Yes, sir. Sunil, sir, I think you are. You can
Thank
ask.
you, thank you. Thank you.
You can ask your query, sir.
No, no, it's excellent one. Very nice.
Thank you, thank
Okay,
you.
sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Yes, sir. Really, once again, I'm telling that since we are coming from that in another field, it's very new to us. Yesterday only we are talking about artificial intelligence with Enter and Film, and slowly we are getting into that IoT. And anyhow, we are slowly coming into that sensor. Now only we came to the sensors one to test our beam columns and our structural elements or building materials embedded with some sensors and finding that strains and all. So now we have to come into that the next era new technology. Anyhow, so slowly we will come. But anyhow, we will contact you if any other projects or any other things. We will work with you. So how we can make it as a productable one.
Sure, sure. Always welcome, sir. We are really collaborating now. Just we'll make the wonders with the collaboration of the US centers and our centers.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you.
sir. Any other queries from the participant? You can raise it.
Adesh sir, just it will be better if you upload the link once again, because that there was for a minute there was a connection was lost. So link and the chat column has vanished now.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Once again, we will post it, sir. Once again, we will post it here itself.
Please, please.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Sir, on behalf of our Department of Civil Engineering, I'm very much thankful to our Director, Center for Embedded and IoT Systems. Thank you, Rajeshwar, sir. Thanks once
Thank you.
again
Welcome, sir.
for your
Always
valuable time, sir.
sure. Thank you, sir. Always welcome.
Thank you all.
Right.
Yes, sir. Now we can leave, sir. Then I will discuss with my participants. They are asking
Sure.
some queries regarding the FTP, sir.
Sure, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks. Thanks. Sir, the links already they given. Once again, I am pasting that. To all the three links I am copying, and again I am pasting here. Is there, sir? Is there?
Yeah, it's available now. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. So day 2 session, third link, and day 2 same second link, first link. That is first link for our morning session with Rati sir. Second link for our Sunita madam from NIT Tiruchirappalli, and third session is from Rajeshwar sir. So it is clearly mentioned in your feedback and attendance link. And I request all the participants from tomorrow onwards, whenever the session start, at least you can open your camera just 5 to 10 minutes, so that everyone can see each other, because virtually we are seeing that photographs only. So that the face-to-face interactions we are missing that. And after 5 to 10 minutes, if the class, if the session starts, we can close that video. While asking any queries, I request all the people, you can open your camera. Even though you are asking or not asking the question, it's not a problem. Better you can open the camera, you can interact with that the keynote speaker, so that it's very easy to interact in a face-to-face manner. And this is my request from my side. And Sunil sir is doing every time. This is a one request from my side, sir. I hope tomorrow onwards we can go for this one. And tomorrow we have 3 sessions. Morning, Dr. R. Sivachidambaram, scientist from CSIR, Central Building Research Institute, Roorkee. So he is the Shishya of Dr. N. Gopalakrishnan. The first day inaugural sessions given by Dr. N. Gopalakrishnan sir from CSIR CBRI. So he is the student. That R. Sivachidambaram is a student of Dr. N. Gopalakrishnan. And the session 2 tomorrow is Dr. S. Shankar, assistant professor from NIT Warangal. He is going to talk about on that low volume roads with marginal materials. So that comes under transportations. So first one is it's high performance material for smart structural application. So morning structural application session will be there. Afternoon, that is second session will be a transportation one. And the third is Dr. C. Jayaguru. He is a professor in Department of Civil Engineering in PSNA College of Engineering. It is in Tamil Nadu, situated in Tamil Nadu, center of the Tamil Nadu. He is going to discuss about the intelligent materials for smart and sustainable infrastructure. So it is a combination of material and as well as the structural application. So tomorrow we don't have any IoT sessions. One is structural, pure structural, one is transportations, and another one is combination of materials and structural. So these are the 3 sessions we are going to have tomorrow. So hope the same cooperations I need. Totally we are 64 participants. So mostly I am seeing that only 50 and sometimes I am seeing that 63. Hope you are aware of that. The attendance I should take 80% as per the Atal committee directions. So hope you are aware of that. Any other problem is there, we are ready to sort out. The first day some of the peoples are unable to join. So that also we are given that attendance form separately. So they are taken in account. So that is not a problem. And any other queries, let me know. You can pin me in that WhatsApp or in mail, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, one and all. Any other query is there, sir? You can tell me that. Everything is okay, sir?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. I will stop this today's sessions. We will end up with that. Tomorrow we can see, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.